You see it before it hits the floor. And something in you, something immediate, something animal, moves. Not toward drama, not out of pity, just toward him. You crouch, you help pick up the pieces, you say something, you don't even plan it, and it lands exactly right. He exhales. His shoulders drop 2 inches. You touched something real in about 40 seconds with a person whose last name you will never know. And you walk back to your table feeling almost nothing about it. That's just Tuesday for you. Now, you walk through the door. You see it immediately. Of course you do. You read emotional temperature the way other people read text messages. You know the difference between tired quiet and sad quiet, and I need you to notice quiet. You know. And your body? Freezes, not for a second, not a passing hesitation, a full cellular structural freeze. You put your keys on the counter. You check your phone. You ask if they want tea, like tea is the same as asking what's wrong. Here's what that is. It's not coldness. It's not selfishness. It's not that you love the stranger more than the person on that couch. It's that your brain, specifically, brilliantly, and at great cost to you, has been running the same survival program since you were small. And the program says, strangers are safe. Closeness is a war zone. You are a human lie detector. Not because you're suspicious. Because you were trained. You learned, early, in rooms that were not safe, around people whose moods were weather systems you had to predict to survive. That silence has texture. There's the silence that means nothing. The silence that means everything is about to shift. The silence that means someone is deciding whether to explode or collapse. You know all 3. You knew them before you knew how to drive. And this made you extraordinary in certain settings. Put you in a room full of strangers, and you are a masterpiece of attunement. You feel the person in the corner who is 2 minutes from a panic attack. You find the one who is performing okayness badly. You gravitate, almost involuntarily, toward the most wounded person in the space, because their pain is a language you are fluent in. But here's the thing about strangers. There's no fine print. You help them, and you leave. No history, no pattern, no leverage. They cannot reach back into your chest and pull something out that you didn't know you'd given them. A stranger cannot weaponize your vulnerability. A stranger cannot look at the most tender version of you and use it, accidentally, lovingly, catastrophically, against you later. With a stranger, empathy is free. With someone you love? Empathy has a price tag, and your nervous system knows exactly what it costs. You became an adult before anyone gave you permission to be one. Not because you were mature, because you had to be. You learned to scan the room before you entered it, to calibrate your own volume, your needs, your feelings, your very presence, based on what the adults around you could tolerate that day. You became the conductor of other people's tension. When the room got heavy, you lightened it. When 2 people started circling each other, you stepped between them, with a joke, a distraction, a perfectly timed need of your own that pulled everyone's attention somewhere safer. You were 8 years old running emotional air traffic control. And it worked. That's the part no one tells you. It worked. The family didn't fall apart. The room didn't combust. You held it together with the careful, exhausting engineering of a child who understood, on a bone level, that if you didn't manage it, no one would. So your brain locked that program in, ran it on every relationship, every room, every person who mattered to you. Which is why now, when the person you love is hurting, your brain doesn't see someone to comfort. It sees a crisis to manage. It sees the room getting heavy. It sees the temperature rising. And instead of moving toward them the way you moved toward that stranger in the coffee shop, with grace, with ease, with nothing to lose, you freeze. Because the stakes are different. Because losing this one isn't something you recover from the way you recover from a stranger's momentary chaos. And so the management instinct kicks in before the love does, not instead of it, before it. And by the time the love catches up, you're already offering tea. Here is the paradox in full. You will drive across the city at 3 a.m. for someone you met twice. You will sit in the waiting room of a stranger's emergency. You will hold space for acquaintances, colleagues, the crying girl in the bar bathroom, with tenderness, with patience, with your whole chest open. But asking your own partner for a hug when you're falling apart feels like admitting defeat, feels like handing someone a loaded weapon and saying, I trust you not to use it, and your history, the long, instructive history of what closeness has cost you, says that trust is a bet you keep almost winning until you don't. So you stay self-sufficient, hyper-independent, the one who figures it out. Because needing someone means giving them the power to leave, or to stay wrong, or to look at the rawest version of you and flinch. Intimacy, for you, isn't just closeness. It's vulnerability on hard mode, with someone who actually matters, which is the most dangerous version there is. You don't have to fix this tonight. You don't have to solve it or reframe it or manage it into something comfortable. You just have to sit down. But before you do, there's something worth grieving. The childhood where you were allowed to be a mess. The version of you who never had to be a general, a conductor, a small adult holding the ceiling up with your bare hands. That kid deserved to be taken care of. And here's what no one may have ever told them, or you. You are allowed to be a beginner at this, at being loved without earning it, at letting someone sit with you in the dark without having to manage their reaction to your darkness, at needing things, at being, occasionally, the one on the couch. You are not starting over. You are starting, maybe for the first time, from somewhere real. The stranger in the coffee shop got your grace because he cost you nothing. It's time to give that same grace to the people who could cost you everything. Not because it's easy, not because it's safe, because it is, finally, slowly, imperfectly, worth it. If you've been the strong one for too long, if you've been showing up for the whole world and quietly disappearing inside your own home, subscribe. We explain the pattern so you can finally rest.